China's foreign ministry has urged the Trump administration to look at all commercial activities being conducted by Chinese firms in an objective manner. Beijing has also called trade between the two countries mutually beneficial. Listen in to that reaction.
美方能够客观看待企业的商业行为，为中国企业在当地开展投资活动创造良好、公平和可预期的投资环境。中国政府一贯鼓励中国的企业按照市场原则和国际规则，在遵守当地法律的基础上开展对外的投资合作。中美的经贸投资合作的本质是互利共赢。中资企业投资为美国的有关地方创造了大量的就业岗位和税收，也为美国企业拓展海外业务带来了资金和市场渠道。
Earlier reports said the U.S. Treasury Department is seeking to draft curbs on the Chinese investment in U.S. technology firms. A report in the Wall Street Journal said that the new provision plans to curb any firm with at least 25% Chinese ownership from investing in key U.S. technology industries such as energy, vehicles, robots and aerospace. This move, coupled with a plan to block additional technology exports to China, is set to hamper Beijing's Made in China 2025 plan. These new curbs will be formulated under the International Emergency Economic Power Act of 1997 and are set to be in the interest of economic and national security. The Wall Street Journal report further added that the administration would only look at new deals and would not target existing investment. The US already plans to slap tariff on 34 billion worth of Chinese goods that are due to take effect on July 16. It will impact $34 billion. Experts anticipate that his latest move will further derail trade relations between the two countries, putting global markets in peril. And I'm joined by Patrick Folk, WION's correspondent from Hong Kong. Patrick, my question is, what more detail can you share about the latest measures the US is taking against China?
Well, look, this is the latest indication that this dispute that's been ongoing between Beijing and Washington really has much less to do about trade than it does about the US's concerns over China's ambitions to become a tech powerhouse. And look, there have been lots of questions already as to what sort of impact import tariffs are going to have on China. Well, now we're seeing Washington really take a much more measured approach and target the issue at the heart of the matter. And essentially it's saying that we're going to do whatever it takes to prevent China from accessing our technology. And look, at the moment, the reports are saying that this is going to restrict companies with at least 25% ownership from acquiring industrially significant technologies. But that could be restricted much further still. And of course, the US, well, interestingly, in China, we saw some reaction in the Global Times today. There was a piece saying that there was essentially criticizing Chinese for showing off about its technological prowess. And the underlying message seems to be that it's caused this sort of paranoia that the US is reacting to.
But Patrick, what's so significant about the timing of all this?
Well, it's hard to imagine that it wasn't timed, definitely just before Defense Chief Jim Mattis is due to land in Beijing to talk to China about a whole load of things where we're seeing Beijing and Washington bump heads. And we're seeing a lot of reports saying that top of the agenda is going to be the issue of China flexing its muscles in the South China Sea. But that is an issue that is going to be very difficult and take a very long time to iron out, whereas this trade dispute is in play, and it's perhaps something that the US feels that it can get Beijing to move on. And no doubt Jim Mattis will be in China and will want to see how Beijing is going to react to this latest report.
The President Erdogan of Turkey claimed victory in the presidential election. Erdogan's party and its alliance partner had won a majority in the parliamentary election too. The main opposition party has conceded defeat. Erdogan waved the cheering flag-waving supporters from the top of a bus in Istanbul.
Bugün Türkiye'nin tamamında milletimiz özgür iradesiyle sandığa gitmiş, oyunu kullanmış, kendisi ve ülkesi için tercihini yapmıştır. Seçimlerin rekor bir katılımla sonuçlanmış olmasını milletimizin bize ve tüm dünyaya çok önemli bir mesajı olarak görüyorum. Gayet açıktır. Türkiye %90'lara yaklaşan seçimlere katılım oranıyla tüm dünyaya demokrasi dersi vermiştir.
Erdogan supporters took to the streets of Istanbul after he declared victory in the presidential elections. Celebrations erupted outside Erdogan's residence in the city and AKP headquarters in Ankara, with crowds of flag-waving supporters thronging the square. Sunday's vote ushering a powerful new executive. Erdogan has been backed by a small majority of Turks in 2017 referendum. Critics say that it will further erode democracy in the NATO member state and the entrench one-man rule. An unexpectedly strong showing by his party, it has created a stronger position for Erdogan. But the opposition is saying that perhaps Erdogan will not be able to surpass the 50% mark, and they don't want to give in this election too early. But the fact of the matter is that Erdogan is now in a very strong position, and he has continued to solidify his position post failed military coup in July 2016. This limits some of the freedoms and allow the government to bypass parliament with decrees. Both Erdogan and his rival presidential candidate of the Republican People's Party, or CHPS as it is known in Turkey, had vowed to lift the state of emergency after the elections. And I'm joined by Mariam Atlas, journalist and columnist from the daily Sabah newspaper from Istanbul. Mariam, my first question to you is that how do you look at these developments and the consolidation of the position of Erdogan in Turkey?
Well, it became a clear victory for Erdogan, and it is 2 points more than the 2014 presidential elections. It is obvious that Erdogan is bigger than his party. Now, AK Party is lower than the last election, general election results, but Erdogan is now over that last percentage that voted for him. And also, secondly, Turkish voters said that they have still hope for Erdogan to do better, even though some economic shortcomings and challenges. And also,
I think we have lost the connection with our guest from Istanbul, but the fact of the matter is that this is a defining election. It has the capacity to define the politics in Asia Minor. And importance is that the Turkey has developed, it's full of contradictions. Turkey has done well under Erdogan, but Erdogan himself is a very authoritarian leader, and authoritarian populist regimes have come up all over the world. It also goes on to show that the liberal order which existed from 1960s onwards have crumbled or given way to more popular governments, and Turkey is part and parcel of it. Mumbai is breathing easy today after heavy rains. The air quality index is at its best in 3 years in the city, but this is coming at a very heavy price. The rainfall has wreaked havoc across the western Indian city once again. An under construction building collapsed in the city's Antwerp Hill area due to rains, damaging nearly 7 cars. At least 4 people have died in the rain-related incident. The whole area caved in. Now, severe waterlogging in various parts of the city had brought transport system to a standstill earlier today. The city's civic transport body had diverted buses on nearly 50 routes while the local trains were running late due to waterlogging in central Mumbai. The worst hit area of Dharavi, Matunga, Kurla, Andheri and Lower Parel were flooded with waters up to 2 to 3 feet. Meanwhile, the rains have stopped and the water level is going down. However, the Indian Meteorological Department has warned of heavy to very heavy rainfall in the next 24 hours.
Here, if you see the level, it is always below the THD level. So only alternative is they must fill it, level it till the THD level, and then this problem won't come again. And in Mumbai, most of the places in Mumbai, the same thing is happening. It is the THD level which one should press for that one, and one should see to it.
It was raining the whole night yesterday, but right now it has stopped. Don't know what is going to happen today in the morning, so took a leave from office. Every year how much it fills, the water, this much it's not filled this time. Like it goes into the shops as well. So right now it's not filled right now.
And you can see the way the lower parts of the Mumbai, the areas which lie below the sea level, got submerged. And it happens every year in Mumbai. And the worrisome part is that heavy rains are expected tonight. Its meteorological department has issued a warning saying that 200 millimeters of rain is expected in the next 24 hours. And in this monsoon, though Mumbai has not seen the worst, but the fact of the matter is that the civic agencies have failed every time, which also goes on to show that the political resoluteness which is shown in the assemblies by politicians is not translated into groundwork when it comes to fighting flooding. The maximum city, the economic capital of the country, continues to face flooding and jams every monsoon. So these are the visuals which you can see. This is part of the South Mumbai, and not only the whole building caved in, but the cars also caved in. And this is not the first time it has happened in Mumbai. There are buildings which have been designated as old, which should have been broken, but it has not happened. Being a very densely populated city where the premium is on the land, every patch of land counts, and it is for this reason you see that the pressure it exerts itself on the infrastructure is tremendous. Though Mumbai has been working on a metro rail, but the perennial problem of the city is its system which is not able to deal with water. And urbanization in an area which is closer to ghats is also a problem, because the water is not being absorbed by the land. It runs off through the road because there is so much of construction. So the water does not get absorbed and it runs over the roads. It ultimately creates flooding in lower areas, which means that the only option which is there for the areas like Lower Parel is only to continue to use pumps. And I'm joined by my colleague Pragya Jha from Mumbai. Pragya, tell me, despite the fact that every year the promises are made that the Mumbai will not be flooded, it floods. What is the basic problem? Pragya, can you hear me? Did you?
That's right. So Mumbai comprises of several low-lying.
Please go ahead.
So, as I was saying, Mumbai comprises of several low-lying areas. Other than that, Mumbai has drainage system that dates back to the British rule, really. And other than that, we do have water bodies whose length and breadth in the city still remain of that close to 30 years to 40 years back. So over there, and other than that, we have unprecedented concretization throughout the city. The green cover is lost. The mangrove cover in the city is totally interrupted into, and hence those natural catchment areas are really being disturbed. The ecosystem is disturbed due to the ongoing concretization, the construction, the rampant construction that really gets into nature's way. And hence we've also seen that last year, when the 2017 29th December deluge took over to the city, it was found that 70% of plastic was in fact the reason for most of these stormwater drains getting clogged. And hence, yet again, these reasons keep surfacing, and we see that there are still areas, the chronic areas, that suffer from waterlogging every year, annually, when monsoons come, lash the city. It is a very unpleasant experience for Mumbaikars. Rather than being a time to rejoice, and rather than a time to rejoice when humidity is really taken away by the spell of shower.
Pragya, in short, is it correct to say that because of the rains that the air quality has improved in Mumbai?
That's absolutely right. We did observe that the quality of air did improve in Mumbai because the dust particles were brought in due to intense rains that have been lashing the city for over 24 hours. And this was communicated by SAFAR, and there was a decrease in the 2.5 particulate matter. It was observed through Mumbai, mainland Mumbai city.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has confirmed that India and Seychelles are working together on the Assumption Island naval project. India and Seychelles reached a strategic deal to develop naval facilities on an outlying island of the atoll in 2015 during Prime Minister Modi's visit. The deal was refined in January this year. The Prime Minister Modi confirmed that the project is on and both countries are working based on each other's needs.
एजम्पशन द्वीप प्रोजेक्ट के संबंध में एक दूसरे के हितों के आधार पर मिलकर काम करने पर हम सहमत हैं। नेविगेशन चार्ट्स की उपलब्धता को सुधारने के लिए हाइड्रोग्राफी सर्वेस करने के लिए हम व्यापक रूप से सहयोग कर रहे हैं। इस प्रयास के हिस्से के रूप में हमने आज वाइड शिपिंग डेटा के आदान प्रदान के लिए एक MOU साइन किया है।
In the context of maritime security, Assumption Island was discussed. We are equally engaged and will continue to work together, bearing each other's interest in mind.
There's been growing political opposition in the Seychelles and a pact signed with India in 2015 to develop naval facility on the Assumption Island. The facility would have given India a strategic advantage in the Indian Ocean region at a time when India-China rivalry is gaining pace in the Indian Ocean. China is increasingly making its influence strong in Indian Ocean region. Last year, China inaugurated its first overseas military base in Djibouti. Maldives has already fallen in Beijing's orbit. And with Gwadar port in Pakistan and Hambantota port in Sri Lanka, China has increased its presence in the Indian Ocean region. But India and Seychelles are expanding cooperation. India today announced a $100 million line of credit to Seychelles for defense purchase. India wants to keep defense ties on an upbeat mode with the Seychelles, having lost the edge in the Maldives to China. Remember, the Maldives has asked New Delhi to remove the 2 helicopters it has received as gifts. India will gift a Dornier aircraft to Seychelles President on Tuesday. A model of the aircraft was handed over by the Indian Prime Minister during press statement at Hyderabad House. The second will be the Dornier aircraft that India will give to Seychelles. India had gifted 1 Dornier maritime surveillance aircraft to Seychelles in 2013 and had promised to give second one in June 2016. Earlier in the month, while speaking to WION, Seychelles President Danny Faure said that the Assumption Island project has been stalled and needs ratification from the Assembly. On a global leadership series, President Faure admitted that he won't submit the deal for ratification, but added that his government still aims to have the maritime facility.
Like you're saying, the Indian government and the government of Seychelles is in a partnership, and there has been nothing thrust on you, or you're not trying to influence anything that's happening here. But have you understood, or can you explain to us why there is opposition? Is it only because of environmental concerns? Is it because of concerns that a foreign country is taking over a part of your country? Why are they concerned?
I think basically, and the concerns are genuine. Fundamentally, it came out as a wrong communication, and I would say an understatement internationally that India was about to set up a base, and that was not the intention of the government of India. The intention of the government of India was to have a facility, but this facility would have a joint operation of this facility. Secondly, there has been real concerns in the area of environment, because Assumption is not far from Aldabra Atoll, which is a UNESCO World Heritage. So these were the concerns.
This is the third meet between the Seychelles President and Prime Minister Modi. This year, the first meet happened in Delhi during the Solar Summit. The second time, they met in London during Commonwealth meet. Early in the morning, Seychelles President was given a grand welcome in Delhi on his first state visit to India after taking charge. He is accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising 2 cabinet ministers and 4 secretaries of state. He has already visited Gujarat and Goa and will visit Dehradun also. And I'm joined by my colleague Siddhant Sibbal from New Delhi. Siddhant, tell me, what transpired today in the Narendra Modi and Danny Fowler meeting? What happened?
Well, today is the main day of engagement of the Seychelles president here in New Delhi. He is on a 6-day visit, and he short while ago spoke at this business event in New Delhi where he called for more Indian investment in the island country. But today the focus was at the Hyderabad house where the Seychelles president and Prime Minister of India spoke on various issues, including the Assumption Island deal. Both agreed on the naval base at Assumption Islands in Seychelles, but said that they understand each other's concerns. That, of course, an important point. But other than that, India announced a $100 million line of credit for defense in Seychelles that will strengthen the defense forces in the island country.
And Siddhant, tell me, what is up next in the visit?
He has already visited Gujarat, Goa, and today he's in New Delhi, and tomorrow he will be going to Dehradun. And tomorrow, important event that's going to take place is that India is going to give a Dornier aircraft. That's the second Dornier aircraft India will be giving. The first one was given in 2013. This shows the growing military engagement, growing defense engagement between Seychelles and India.